Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah. In this video, we're making this beautiful 3D papercraft lantern with a pretty snow scene on the edges, which is built up with different shades of blue to add all the details, and there's even a light inside too to make it really glow. Let's get started. You can download the free cutting file for this project at craftwithsarah.com/free-SVGs or follow the link in the description of this video to go straight to the download page. The download comes in a zip folder and you need to unzip this before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space and start a new project. Then click Upload over on the left and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and within there is another folder called SVG Files, and that's the one we want to choose for Cricut Design Space. There are two separate files in here. The first is called SVG Lantern Empty, and as you can see on the right hand side here, this is one where all of the panels to decorate the sides have been left blank, so you can add your own images or patterns or photographs in there to create your own custom lanterns. If you're not sure how to do that, check out the description of this video and I'll link to another one that I released a couple of days ago where I show how to customize my 3D ornament baubles, and you would use exactly the same technique to make custom lanterns. It's the same kind of file. However, the one I'm going to be showing you is the one underneath, which is SVG Lantern Snow Scene. You can see over here this has got lots more pieces in it. So this is one that I've already decorated for you. And I've done this one a bit different to how you would do them if you were customizing them, because instead of just adding one colour, I've added lots of different ones. Just thought I'd make it a little bit extra fancy for you. So when you've got it looking like this, go ahead and press upload. And then when it's in your recent uploads, click on it to get the green border and then press Add to Canvas, and it will load in here. You can see the size that this is going to be by looking down the layers panel and clicking the bottom layer, which is this front one here, and this will be the size of the lantern from top to bottom and side to side. So it's just over 5.5 inches wide and 7.862 inches tall. If you want to resize it, click the whole thing, select everything and resize it all together so that you know everything will change in proportion, so everything's still going to fit. However, I'm just going to undo that because I want to do it at the size it came in at. Is that definitely the right size? There we go. Now this project is kind of great because there's nothing you actually need to do in Design Space. It's all just ready for you to cut. There's no score lines to format or anything like that. The only thing I want to make you aware of are these 4 rectangles at the bottom from this very, very pale blue-grey colour. These are designed to be cut from either vellum or tracing paper or something similar to that to act as a diffusion for the lights inside the lantern. So these will go behind the main 4 panels just to cover up all the little gaps and make it so that you can't see the fairy lights or the candle apparatus themselves inside. All you'll get is a lovely, warm, diffused glow of the light coming through all of the different holes in the pattern. So there's nothing to change, nice and easy. I just click Make up here to separate out all the different pieces. You can change the paper size in this drop down. And then if you want to, you can click and drag to move things about. Now there's a little bug in Design Space at the moment where sometimes, like on my screen here, you see it's put these outside the mat. So just be really, really careful when you're moving things about that it doesn't do that. otherwise it can throw off your cut. But hopefully, by the time you're actually watching this video, Design Space will have fixed that. But just in case you see things in weird places on the screen, that is why. When you're happy with how everything is looking, press continue to connect to your Cricut and get everything cut out from cardstock. Once you've got everything cut out from cardstock, it's time to start assembling the lantern. We'll start with the main structure, and this comes in 2 sections. If you've made any of my 3D ornaments or other 3D slot together designs, this is pretty similar. The only difference is there's 2 pieces instead of 3. So what you want to do is just slot one through the other, and we're going to put the middle up through there so they slide onto each other. And then the bottom bit, there are 2 slits, one in each of the sides, and just slot them into each other. And you end up with 4 sides that will stand up like that. In order to help it keep its shape, there are these 2 square pieces, and these are the same for the top and the bottom. And we're going to slide the little slits in each of the corners, you see this little bit here, into the slits, it's a bit hard to see, you can just about get it there, the slits in the top and the bottom of the lantern shape. I'll put this one in first, and they just kind of clip into place. Be really gentle with it so you don't rip anything. 3, and that one is already in, so that's 4. It's definitely easier doing this one than the circular ones. And then the bottom, the same thing, just put your side in. There we go. And then clip the little cutouts into each other. I'll pick this up to show you in a minute, because it's a bit hard to see at this angle. But they're now all pushed in. So we've got a top. Oh, actually they're not. I've missed that one. There we go. Oh, and that one. Right, now my top and my bottom squares are in, and my lantern structure is done. It's very easy. Okay, next we can move on to the sides. And if you have designed your own side, yours will look a little bit different. But for the pre-made one with the snow scene, this is how we're going to be doing it. So this is one of the sides, and I've already laid all my bits in order just to make sure I've got the right pieces. And then the different shades of blue will all be glued to each other to make the front of my lantern. We'll start with the biggest piece to go onto the front, and turn it over and add some glue. I've put my glue into a needle tip applicator bottle, which I got on Amazon, and this makes it really easy to get the glue into the tiny pieces, such as that very small reindeer up there. Oops. Okay. And then when you stick it down, the cutouts will align with each other so you know where to put it. So all of those holes will line up. You might need to wiggle it about a bit until you've got it exactly right. And then you can see right through. And that means the light from our fairy lights or candle are going to show right through those holes. Next, we've got this one. And again, I'll add some glue. Then stick into place. And finally, the little one to go on the front. Alright, so now we can see through all those holes, but because of the different colours of card, you can see the scene, the winter scene and the night sky really nicely. The last thing to do for this one is to add my tracing paper to the back. Turn that over and just add some glue. You don't need to go up into the kind of the slots in the top and the bottom, but the whole rest of the design, just add some glue around the cutouts so that the tracing paper will be nice and stuck, because it kind of has a tendency to pop off. I think it doesn't maybe react to the glue as well as cardstock does. And it just goes on the back. Gently push it down. And then it adds that slight diffusion behind all the cutouts. One side done, and I've already done the other one that matches. So I've stuck this one together already, and it's got its diffusion on the back. And then there's another design for the other two sides. I've done one of them, but the other one I'll stick together on camera to show you how to do it. Alright, so it's kind of exactly the same, but you know, I didn't want the video to end up being too short. So we're starting with the biggest piece, which will go onto that base of the lantern. And once again, line up the cutouts so that the light will be able to shine right through it. Ooh, I missed that a little bit. That's better. Next is this piece. And finally, the little slit along the bottom with the reindeer on it. Teeny tiny reindeer. Alright, turn upside down and add some glue on the back for the tracing paper or vellum. And wait for it to dry. Once your sides are dry, you can add them into the lantern base. So let's start. We've got 3 bits at the top and 3 at the bottom, which are going to go through the holes. On the top, 1, 2, 3, and the bottom, 1, 2, 3. So we'll go into the top first. And then you'll need to sort of curve it inwards a little bit, just to get them all into the bottom. There we go. Wiggle it in place so all the tabs are slotted in exactly. And there's one side finished. I just love those colours. Okay, next one, and alternate the design. So I did the one with the house on this side, so the next one will be the one without the house. And it's just going to go in exactly the same way. We'll go in the top with those 3. And then gentle kind of bend just so that you can tuck the other bits in the bottom and get all those tabs down. There. There's 2. And then the third side will alternate again. So this time I want the house again. Okay, we'll go in the top. Slight curve. And then, oh, I'm missing. Through the bottom. And wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until they're all in, all the way. Okay. We want the sides to look straight when they're in, nice and flat. So just make sure that they're pulled through everywhere on all those sides. And I've got one left, but before I do that, I'll add my lights. I've got a little battery candlelight. I'm not sure this is going to have the best effect because it's quite a small light. I'm thinking I might have a better effect with just some fairy lights in there. So I'm going to try that instead. Unravel them first. This is supposed to go on the top of a wine bottle, and then the lights go down into the bottle. But it'll work just fine for this. Just make sure whatever you do, whatever you use, the lights don't get hot, because obviously you're putting it in cardstock, so you don't want any heat in there. And these are in a right old tangled mess. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put them in like this. But before I use this for real, I will sort out that ginormous knot of fairy lights. Okay. So I'll turn them on just so we can see the final effect when that last side is on. And again, when I actually put this up in my living room, I will make these lights so much neater. But for time, I'll just shove them in. There we go. Okay. And the lovely thing about this is it's so easy just to take one of the sides off to put the lights on and turn them on and off. You can also buy little battery lights that go on timers, so you could turn it on and then it'll automatically switch off an hour later or however long you want. I'm just putting my final side on. There we go. And you can't see it really because of my camera lights. So what I'm going to do is just turn those off so you can see a little bit better how this looks. It's all gone very dark. In fact, I think it's too dark for my lights to show up. I can see it shining through beautifully, but I don't think my camera's picking it up. Try putting it closer to the camera. I'm not sure why on my screen this is not appearing, because in real life it's really, really glowing. I think my camera's just having a little bit of trouble, but you can kind of see how the details look from this. Oh, I'm a bit disappointed in how this looks on camera because as I'm holding it, well, I haven't quite got that one slotted in correctly. As I'm holding it, it's beautiful, but it just doesn't quite look like that for you. I'll try again with one of my camera lights on. And you can kind of see how that light is glowing. But even without the light, it still looks beautiful because of all the different colours we've used for the scene. So anyway, there we go. Didn't quite turn out as I had expected on camera, but in real life it's so pretty. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make a 3D papercraft lantern with a beautiful winter village scene and lots of reindeer. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Christmas crafts and Cricut fun. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!